Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Halton Hills housing update. So a lot has changed in the last week. When I shot this last week, we were on edge about coronavirus, but last Wednesday, everything just sort of hit the fan. I'm getting a lot of questions about how I think this is going to impact the real estate market, and I think it can go a lot of ways. I mean, in the last week, they dropped rates again, which is good news. But at the end of the day, if people aren't taking this seriously and we have an outbreak the way Italy or other countries have, there's a good chance a lot of people are going to be out of work, and that will inevitably stop the real estate market. So I am really optimistic that people are understanding the severity of this situation. And if everyone can just keep their distance, self-isolate for 2 weeks for the greater good, then maybe a month from now, we can be back on track. And rates are low, so that would mean things will be busy. But there's a lot of unknown around what's going to happen. This morning, Doug Ford declared a state of emergency in Ontario to try again to limit people gathering and the mass spread of this. So we're going to have to see how this impacts the overall real estate market. For now, things appear to still be moving. People are still doing showings. I had 10 groups through an open house on the weekend when I wasn't sure if anyone would come. And I know a colleague had 20 groups through. So there's still people out there because of the momentum we've had from the last few months. It will just be interesting to see how this week goes, because the numbers I'm going to share with you today are going to show that people are still in the market, even though coronavirus is here. So in Georgetown, we had 18 sales, which was the same as the previous week. The previous week, we had 11 properties sell over asking. This week, we had 14 properties sell over asking. And again, I don't want to get into the details of how much money some of these people are paying over asking, but it's a little bananas. And so we are still seeing competitive offers even this past weekend with all the stuff that's been going on with the coronavirus. So the good news with listings this week is the majority of listings, 14 of the 23, were under that $1 million mark, and only 9 were over the $1 million mark. So really hoping, again, that we can start to balance out with the lower price listings that are really in demand right now. So in Acton, we had 6 properties sell this week, which is a good number for Acton. There are 7 new properties that listed. We're seeing a decent amount of balancing in Acton overall. Nothing happened in Limehouse or Glen Williams this week. And in rural Halton Hills, we had 2 solds and 1 new listing. So that seems like pretty consistent every week. Rural is just like staying pretty flat. But we'll see how that is impacted if the in-town market starts to slow down with everything that's going on. So current market, we have 113 active listings in all of Halton Hills, which is up, and that's a very high number in comparison to the 90-ish that we were seeing throughout February. So there are 64 active listings in Georgetown, and still the far majority, so 36, are over that $1 million mark. We have still a shortage of condos and condo townhouses, but the listings are up, so that could hopefully mean good news for the buyers in the market right now. In Acton, there are 16 properties available, and there's actually a good mix of what's available in Acton. I mean, you've got some lower price point, mid price point, and some higher stuff. So there's a good variety if you are looking to maybe get a little bit more for your money and move out to Acton. Glen Williams, we still have 7 active, and in Limehouse, we still have 4 active, so no major movement there. So with rural, we have 21 available properties, and again, everything that's available is over $1 million. The only one under $1 million is still sold conditional, so you have to have that higher ticket if you are looking for something rural right now. So that's it for this week's market update. It will be interesting to see what happens this coming week. I think the next 2 weeks are going to really give us an idea of how people are reacting to this in the real estate world. Being self-employed, I have 2 employees. This is a super difficult time with a lot of unknown and uneasiness. So I'm thinking about everyone else that's running their businesses and how we can support them even in this like crazy time. I hope everyone has a great week. Please take this seriously. Stay inside, stay with your families, stop the spread. This is the first week since everything's really taken a turn. So I don't think we would have felt the impact this week. I think the next couple weeks will be super interesting, maybe not in a good way, but we're all in this together. Just stay away from people, stop the spread, and I'll update you next week on what I'm seeing with what's happening in the real estate market. Stay tuned for your market update next week and how, I don't even know what's gonna happen in the next week. So let's just see. Have a great week, everyone.